Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast. My name is Scott. I'll be your host today. Got a lot going on these days, and I got a really good guest that I can't wait to bring in for you guys. I'm going to bring him in shortly. As always, you can find this in the back episodes of our podcast at our website. It's called ordinarymarathoner.com. Check it out if you get a chance. You can also find them at the aggregators, places like Stitcher and TuneIn and iTunes. If you like the show, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out, and that way you never miss a new episode. They'll just alert you every time we post a new episode. Hopefully that's weekly. Sometimes I get a little bit behind, but I'm on a good roll lately. And just, like I said, so much going on over here. You can find me at Twitter. Address over there is at OrdMarathoner. That's O-R-D Marathoner. If you follow me there, I'll follow you back. And you can also find us over at our discussion group on Facebook, which is actually where I found my guest today. The group over there, it's called Ordinary Marathoners. It's a closed group, so you got to add yourself to it, but we put you right through, and you can join the conversation over there as well. A really supportive group, very positive group of people. Join the group, join the conversation, and if you want to be a lurker, that's cool too. We got plenty of those too, people that just sit there and read, which is fine. We invite all of you guys to come and join us. So like I said, so much going on. We actually finally got our first newsletter out this week. And you can just go to the homepage, ordinarymarathoner.com, and add yourself if you're interested in our newsletter. We just had a bunch of snippets there of things that are going on, and just trying to keep you guys up to date with all these moving parts. Our YouTube channel is up and running. So our podcast is now on YouTube. It's audio only. I mean, there's a nice little graphic there. It looks pretty cool, but you're not going to see any video or anything like that. It's not like Joe Rogan style. That would be pretty cool, though, if I could get that up and running. I'd love to do that. But for now, it's just audio. It's just another place you can go listen to the podcast. I kind of like it for work. You can just throw your headphones in and kind of like put the screen off to the side. When the boss walks by, you could be listening to the podcast and he won't even know, or she won't even know. Just try to be inclusive here. What else do we got? We also posted posted the highlight video of the Million Moo March from last year over on the YouTube channel. Brian Sidebottom, thanks again for that video. It really came out great, and I encourage you to check it out, especially if you're interested in joining our next virtual race, which is called the Ordinary Marathon. Now, a lot of people have signed up for that already, but we expanded it, so we have a lot of open spots remaining. I encourage you to go over to the webpage, or you can just go to ordinarymarathon.com, and it'll bring you right to the sign-up page. It's $25, and the proceeds all go to American Cancer Society, so it's for a really good cause. And we had so much fun with the Million Moo March last November that this one is sure to be a great time. I do have to shout out to our sponsors for the Ordinary Marathon. Momentum Jewelry, thanks so much. They helped us out with some prizes. We gave out 25 of they're called footnotes, little pieces of jewelry with motivational sayings on them. We already have given 25 of those out. Thank you, Momentum. Greasy Girl Headbands seems to be always on board and supporting our podcast. We love them to death. Check it out at greasygirlheadbands.com. That's GREECIE. The Sam Fund, great charity. Encourage you to check them out as well at thesamfund.org. A great group of people over there. And the last but not least, Destination Vacation, a company near and dear to my guest's heart. You like this segue, Dan?
Yeah, that seems to work out pretty well.
Dan Demore, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Really glad to have you. We've been chatting a lot online probably the last couple of months, and kind of watching your journey of really just a real successful journey. You have like a really like a great positive personality, and I just see you going after things, and it's really good to see. So I guess, my question is, how did you find us, and what made our group something that you wanted to be a part of?
Well, I came across the Ordinary Marathoner podcast through another podcast, the 300 Pounds of Running. So when I first started running, I was looking for anything running related. My brother he's a big fan of podcasts. So I was over at his house and he was showing me a bunch of different podcasts, and we started talking about them. And I found this one and I started listening to it, and either I got your name from 300 Pounds of Running or the other way around.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that's Martinez Evans. We had Martinez on the podcast about a year ago. If you haven't listened to that one, you should check that out. He was a really good guest. And then I was on his podcast as well. We did like sort of a reciprocal give and take there. I love Martinez. He's got a great show. And I think it's actually kind of interesting. You'd think in this sort of, in, I guess, niche sort of running podcast, that's basically what we do. You'd think there'd be a lot of competition. But I find for the most part that everyone's really supportive of one another, and I think maybe that's what draws people to people like Martinez and hopefully myself and this podcast here. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's real life. It is what it is, and at the end of the microphone, it's just another human being, not trying to be better than anybody, and somebody that's trying to help other people get on their path, get on their journey as well as you fight for your own journey.
And speaking of journey, let's get into yours a little bit here, because I know that you, and I kind of wanted to end sort of the first half of this segment here, but I'm just going to sort of segue into this by using your sort of, I guess, your most recent accomplishment, which is that you finished the Austin half marathon, and I'm assuming that was your first.
That was my first half marathon. Before that, I did a 5K and a 10K, just one each, and then we signed up for a half. And it was hard. It was hard. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but it's possible.
I got to tell you, man, it sounds so familiar to my journey. And everyone kind of does that step up, right? And for me, and I don't know, when you started, probably similar. For me, I had to work up to 1 mile. Did you find this? Were you, when you, how did you get started in running? What made you take your first step and decide, that you wanted to get into this sport a little bit?
It was my weight. So at home, I had a home scale, and unfortunately, the home scale only went to 350 pounds. So my brother had an incident where he almost snapped his leg off, but he needed some knee surgery, and we went to the hospital. And I thought, well, if I ever going to find out what my real weight is, I might as well jump on the hospital scale. They're going to know. And sure enough, it was 367 pounds.
Yeah.
It was a ridiculous. I was not looking at it. I was in shock. I was in shock.
Wake up call.
Yes, sir. I really didn't think I was that far gone. I didn't think it was that bad.
And do you mind asking if I ask how old you are, Dan?
I am 47.
Okay, so you're just a tiny bit older than me, but we're kind of in that same boat where I was like 280, but you look, at least it looks like you're way taller than me. I'm like 5'9", so it makes the 280. And 280 doesn't sound as much versus 360, but when you factor in the height, it's probably a little worse. But you start getting that blood pressure, and you start freaking out in the doctor's office when they take your blood pressure, and makes you nervous. And I don't know about you, but I was on like hypertension meds, and all that kind of stuff. And it's just all that stuff kind of and then you have that wake up moment. And it sounds like for you it was stepping on the scale and seeing that number. And was it like an immediate switch?
Yes, yeah, and that's how my brain works. It's on or off, and my brother said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if after my knee surgery we can go run like a half marathon together? That would just be awesome. And I was like, okay, well, how are we gonna get from here to there? And he started looking around, podcasts. Sure enough, found a Couch to 5K podcast. July 4th, we're off. I start running 60 seconds. That was it. 60 seconds run, 90 seconds walk. And then it just grew from there. Finished up that and rolled right into a 5K, into a 10K, half around the corner, and just signed up last night for another half.
Let me ask you this. That by the way, that's awesome that you signed up for another one. That's kind of the way this sport works too. Is you hit one goal and you're like you finish and you're like for a second maybe your legs hurt and you're in pain. I had a really bad episode after my first half. And I remember like just a couple hours later, as the pain started easing and going away, I just couldn't wait to do the next one. It's just sort of that kind of sport. So let me ask you this though: what was your out of say the 5K, the 10K, and the half? When did you kind of feel like either you had turned a corner or say your most accomplished feeling? When was that? Or they're probably two separate questions actually, but
No, that's
you
fine.
can attack them both.
Oh, that's fine. They're pretty relative. So I was training for my half, and I got to my 9th mile, and I almost broke down and started crying because I knew that I could hit my 10 mile, and I knew if I could hit my 10 mile and then start tapering after that, I knew that 13 was just going to be right around the corner, and I had the support of my wife and Dougie. My friend Doug, that's also part of the Facebook group. He's awesome.
Right. He did the full marathon that day, and that was his first full.
Correct.
That's great that you guys can do that together. It's just like I said, this sports thing, it never ceases to amaze me how people support each other and just get at it, together. And I remember that day when you posted those, your finish time, and I remember tracking you and seeing how you were doing, and it was like, it was really easy to root for you guys.
I definitely appreciate that, and all the support from Ordinary, all through all the Facebook groups that I'm part of. It's phenomenal how many people really cheer you on.
Yeah, and it's like that all over the place. And I know that you're part of some of the other groups out there too, which I think that you should just focus on the Ordinary Marathoner group personally. But I get it. I get it. So all right. So you were sitting there. You said you were on your training run, and you hit like mile 9 of your 10-mile run. And were you just fine when you finished the half? Were you absolutely fine, or was there pain along the way?
Oh, there was pain. I got I was in my half, and I got right around 8 or 9. I think it was 9, and I got a big cramp in my calf. My right calf got a big cramp in it, and I knew 10 was where the hills were really going to start increasing, by tenfold. It was going to be terrible.
Right. Everyone said that hill at mile 12. We actually spoke about it briefly before the pod. The hill at mile 12 was like the worst.
Right. So I stopped at a water station, and I realized I was drinking not enough water. I wasn't drinking enough water. So I slammed a cup of water through one on my head. I walked for maybe a quarter mile, half mile, and then started picking it up a little bit. And then right before I got to 10, I walked maybe the last 100 yards. And when I made a right, it was straight uphill. And I knew that's what was going to happen at 10. I ran that portion before, and then I wanted to save some energy for the big one at 12.
So getting up that hill, what were you thinking the whole time? Or was it pain all the way up that hill? And when you crested it, did you know you were good? You were good to go. You're gonna be finishing this thing.
I knew I was going to finish when I made it to the start line. So I was
just confident.
I was pretty confident. I trained well. I believed in my training. I had support. Dougie was out there, so I was thinking about him being where he might have been at the same time I was there.
Yeah.
When I hit 10, I could hear the water station just going nuts. That by far at mile 10 on that race was the best aid station I've ever been a part of.
Nice.
It was amazing. They were calling me out by my bib name and just had a great time all the way up the hill. I was just smiling and having a great time.
That's awesome. That's really good. And it's good. I got to tell you. So the first half that I did, I was in pain, and I ran the whole way, and I had to stop with about, I don't know, like less than a half a mile left. And I remember because I never run that far. I think my longest training one was a 10K. It was like 6.2. And so the pain for me was, this is where our stories differ a little bit. I got to that car, I had to sit there for like a half an hour before I could even put my feet on the pedals. I just couldn't wait to get back out there and do it again and conquer the thing for real. So let me ask you this: once you finished, and maybe I'm skipping a step here, but once you finished, how long did you know that you were going to be doing another one?
Well, I really wasn't planning on doing another half.
Yeah.
I was just planning on maybe doing couch to 5K again, using it to do some fartleks, just build up my speed because I'm a really slow runner, but I get out there and I'm still a runner. So I was using that to build my speed up is what I was thinking. My wife's got a Ragnar coming up on.
I saw you mention that.
That's Friday.
Really cool, yeah.
All right, so on Friday she had that, and then after that we were going to do that, and then. But you join a lot of groups on Facebook, and a lot of people are talking, and a lot of people this, that, and I saw one that caught my eye in Utah, 21 April.
Utah, huh? Salt Lake City?
Yeah, Salt Lake City.
There you go.
Salt Lake City, you're going to do the half. I got Dougie's going to come with me do the half, and then my little brother's going to come do the half with us. This will be my little brother's first half.
First, right? And is he the one with the leg?
Yes.
So that's great. That is, and so he's finally. And it was his idea. It sounds like all along to do the half, and now he's finally going to get his shot to accomplish that.
That's correct. Yeah, that's exactly how it's going to work.
That's awesome. Let me. I do want to talk to you about sort of your future and what you have planned in store, but I did want to save that for the second half. I just before we cut to break though, describe the moment when you crossed the finish line. Did you already have that in mind, or was it like an extra elation from finishing where you maybe a year before you never thought you could do something like that? Describe for me when you finally crossed that line.
It was different. It was a lot different feeling. It's like having a kid being born. And,
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because it's like I would probably, it's hard to describe it that way because like you always put the birth of your child like on some pedestal. But it's like, yeah, it is. I remember. So when I finished my first New York City Marathon, I nothing will ever compare to that moment. And it sounds very similar to what you're saying. It was just, keep going, man, keep going.
Yeah. So I was thinking, we did it. I did it. My buddy Doug went on, I don't know how many training runs with us, and he runs a lot faster than I do, so it had to be heck for him.
Yeah.
And then my wife ran with me, everything but the 10 mile.
Yeah.
She had a hurt leg or something, so she ran everything but the 10 mile with me, and my kids, they all run now. My twin brother, he's up in the weight also, but he's out there with us now, and he's running, and it's just going to be a big family run fest around here.
God, so you started this less than a year ago, right? You said in July. Was it July of last year?
July 4th, Independence Day.
July 4th. So you started July 4th of last year. You've trained. You've done a 5K, a 10K, and now a half. If you don't mind me asking, what is the weight at now?
I'm at 328.
So you're down like 40 pounds.
Right. 40 pounds from the beginning, from July 4th.
And I know you think you got plenty to go from there, too. We're going to talk about in just a moment. Let's head to the break, and we're going to be right back with Dan Demore. Hey guys, my friend Lauren is creating an incredible resource for runners and triathletes. It's called raceadvisors.com. She has amassed a list of thousands of races, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, marathons, ultramarathons, and triathlons, and anything in between. If you're thinking about running a race, look it up and check out the reviews. Have a favorite race of your own? Look it up. See what others have to say about it. Or better yet, leave a review of your own. raceadvisors.com. Read it, race it, review it. I want to tell you guys about another great small business I've come across while doing this podcast. It's called Greasy Girl Headbands. I know, I have very short hair, so what could I possibly know about headbands? Well, I know that I bought one for my wife Stephanie and daughter Samantha this Christmas. Stephanie, she uses it for what it was designed for, running and working out. But 8-year-old Sam, well, she just wears hers all the time. So the question is, how can you get one? Well, that's easy. You head on over to greasygirlheadbands.com. It's spelled Greeecie, girlheadbands.com, and select from the many styles and options they have available. I'm sure you'll find one that's just perfect for you. All right, we're back here from break with Dan Demore. Dan, I noticed that we kind of discussed it a little bit. You talk a lot about your family and your family support. And I was kind of wondering, sort of, how do you and your wife go about, because this is a really good dynamic. It's really important, I think, when it comes to training and especially weight loss. How do you guys support one another in terms of your sort of like your home structure and your family structure? What's your relationship within running and dieting? What's that all about? How does that work?
Well, the dieting it's hard. It's hard because she'll be doing one diet and I'll be doing a different diet, and I'll do what works for me and she'll do what works for her, and sometimes we're not always on the same page. It is what it is, though. I mean, that's what's working for me. I'm not changing what I'm doing. and she's not going to change what she's doing if it's working for her. So we go out, we run first thing in the morning, and sometimes, I own my own company, so sometimes I have to be leaving for work at 5 in the morning. So if that means 3 o'clock wake up time to go run, it means 3 o'clock time to wake up and go run.
God bless you, man. That's tough. That is tough. That's a lot of willpower right there. So it sounds like, though, that you guys you really kind of support one another, though. It's all. Does she get up at 3 o'clock too?
Oh yeah. This is a team meeting. We have a come to Jesus moment. We get a cup of coffee, slam a cup of coffee, grab a water, get our reflective gear on and our lights, and sometimes, if the mood hits us, we'll wake up one of the kids and we'll go. We'll go 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's go.
So you guys are in Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
So
we're down by San Antonio.
So what? Oh, I love San Antonio. I was there one time. I always wanted to go back. I love that river walk and everything. What? So what kind of critters do you guys run? This is like a constant question that I ask people when they tell me that they run at these ungodly hours. Like I'm in up northeast and we have like bear and some bobcats occasionally. And it's like things that they'll rattle you if you see them. I have never come across one, but the fear is there. What do you guys? Is there anything out? I mean, you're a big dude, so you probably scare those guys away. But what do you? Is there something out there that you're like, oh, I hope we don't come across in Texas?
Yeah, I'm a pretty big guy. They can hear that thunder coming. So they get out of my way. No, we have, like most places, we have deer, we have coyotes, armadillos.
The armadillos we've heard of. Melinda Howard runs in Mississippi at the same sort of hour, and she mentioned the armadillos too. Can they be nasty?
No, they're pretty small. I ran across one the other day at work. I took some pictures and stuff for the Ragnar group is the Blazing Armadillos, and so I took some pictures and threw that on their Facebook page for them. But we have bats. We have bats. So I don't know how that's going to work during that Ragnar at night run. You got a headlight.
So does she have her schedule of what she has to, the legs that she has to run? Yeah,
they total up to 17.1.
That's pretty good. So
she has a 6 mile, a 7 mile, and a 4 mile.
Gotcha. I've actually never done a Ragnar, but I've talked to a whole bunch of people who have, and everyone says it's kind of like it's a unique experience. So I'm assuming you're going to be going and watch. Are you going to watch? How do you even watch something like that? It's not, maybe you just meet them at the end, or are you going to support?
No. Oh yeah, I'm supporting. You know how that works. I'm driving the van.
Oh, are you? That's great.
Heck yeah. I was driving the van before she became a team member.
That's great. I don't know. Maybe I should do one of those one day. I don't know. I always picture really smelly people hanging out and all over top of each other in the van. I'm like, I don't want that. But I'm like, I don't know. I feel like you guys are all tougher than me.
Jennifer says she's kind of a germaphobe, so I'd like to see how this is going to work out.
That's funny.
It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be a pretty cool little deal there.
So listen, we already mentioned that you're going to be doing a half marathon in Salt Lake City, Utah, with your brother. It's going to be his first. And I know you're still continuing this weight loss journey. Now, how are you setting up your goals right now? What is your primary goal, and what is your, do you have any sort of list of goals or priorities from now on what you're going to be doing in the near future?
Yeah, I set up an ABC goal, a lot like we do for the running events. You have your A goal, you have your B goal, and then you got your I just want to finish. That's right. Those are your goals. So, I was sitting around thinking the other day, and I finally hit that 3:30 mark on my weight loss.
Yep, congratulations.
And I thought, thank you. And I thought, you know what? I think I can lose 50 pounds pretty quick. I'm doing really good right now. I'm in a good spot. We're running. I'm eating right, drinking my water. That's a lot of water. I drink about 10 bottles of water a day. So I was thinking, you know what? I can do 50 pounds if I really buckle down and put my brain into this. I can get down to 50. And I thought, you know what? I'll do it by my mom's birthday. So my mom's birthday is on the 26th of May.
26th of May. I'm writing that down. And then we're gonna follow up with you to make sure.
I'm gonna do my best. That's all I can do is I do my best, and
I think we mentioned this actually on the webpage the other day in the discussion group. You had listed those three goals, and I guess my question to you was, and now you sort of said you have ABC goals. What happens if you lose 45? Is that
Exactly? So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. So I got 50 is my A goal, 40 is my B goal, 30 is my C goal, and I know I can do 30 with my eyes shut. That's going to be the easiest. The 30 pounds is easy. I'm already down 10 or 11 right now.
And I know I saw, if I remember right, I saw a picture of you the other day. You were out and you were drinking water, and your buddies were like drinking beers, and that's tough, right? I mean, am I wrong? Did I see that? Did I see it the other day? Like, no, you were like, I'm drinking.
No, that's
water.
right. That's exactly how it works.
And I tell you, man, that peer pressure is tough.
It is. It is, and I got a buddy that's like, man, we don't like the sober Demore, but but what do you do? I'm trying to meet goals. I'm trying to be better.
Yeah, and really, your friends should support you in that, and I'm sure they probably do. I mean, they see where you've come so far, and they know that you want to do more. I mean, it's just it's like when you're there and you're like, oh, your buddies are drinking, you're like, maybe I could have one, and then nope, you can't do it. And good for you. It sounds like you're in the mode. You're there. You got the right frame of mind, I think, and I'm rooting for you so bad. I'm on your side. I kind of hope you hit the 50. That would be awesome. But I also get like I know for me, it's like if I didn't hit the 50 and that was my A goal, I'd still be a little upset. But really, you can't be upset if you lose 45. You can't even be upset if you lose 25. Really.
Yeah. No, I'll be. That will probably think, you know what, I must have done something wrong. I probably could have done better somewhere. I could have done something a little bit different. I really believe it's achievable. It's not that much. It's not like I'm 190 trying to go down to 140. That would be hard to do in 3 months. But when you're up this big, it's those first 50, 60 pounds can come off pretty quick, and that's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, and they can. And they, and then I got to tell you, they did for me too. I want to say the first 3 months I dropped like 30 to 40 pounds with, from 280 to like 230, 240, something like that. And those first few come off quick, and then you definitely hit a plateau where it becomes a lot tougher. And I kind of hope that doesn't happen for you within the next 3 months. But yeah, you're in the right frame of mind, and you definitely, I think you can definitely knock off 50 if you really focus on it. When is your next half marathon in Salt Lake? When, I think you already mentioned, I forgot to write it down. I'm writing that down too.
Yeah, that's April 21st is that day.
Nice. So that's
and the air's supposed to be thin up there, so we'll see how that goes.
And then you got, I know you signed up for the Ordinary Marathon, so you got that like a week after. It's too bad. I got to tell you, initially we had scheduled the Ordinary Marathon for April 20 to the end of the month or something like that, and then we moved it up a week. So you would have had that half marathon sitting there. You'd had 13.1 miles in your Ordinary Marathon race. That would have been a good starter for you. But it's not going to count. I hate to tell you.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I don't need that. I got a full that we're going to be training for December. There's a lot of running in our future.
And I wanted to get to that too. You beat me to it a little bit, but it was going to be my next thing. When did you decide in your mind that the full was something you might want to do and you made that a goal?
Back in December when we did the 10K.
You just knew right there. Like...
Yeah, we did 10K, and we knew that the next day everybody was going to be down there running the rock and roll half and the rock and roll full. And my wife and I looked at each other and we were like, all right, we can do this. We have 1 full year to train for a full marathon. And
you know what? You can totally do it. You can totally do it.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. So she was like, "Hey, it's on sale right now." Of course, right after you do the 10K, everything goes on sale. So. And
that one is down. That's gonna be down near you, San Antonio, or?
Yes, sir. That's gonna be in San Antonio, and we're really looking forward to that one. That's just gonna be amazing.
You got the home field advantage there. You're gonna have a nice little support group, I'm sure. Is that a big race? Do you know? Is a lot of people run that? I mean, obviously you were there last time. Do you know what the
I was only there. I was only there for the 10K. We didn't go back and watch.
Oh, you didn't
watch the following day now, but I don't know, it doesn't matter as long as I show up, my wife shows up, my brother shows up, and Doug shows up. That's really all that matters to
That's
me.
all that matters.
It's our race. Just want to finish.
Right. Do you have any kind of goals in mind in terms of time, or are you just trying to finish it?
No, I can't even begin to tell you what time.
So
13 hours.
And do you guys like run these? Do you try to run together? Obviously, you didn't run with Doug when he was running the full, but is the plan to kind of like you and your wife to run the same pace, or you and your wife and your brother all run the same pace and be together?
I have to run with my wife. If I don't, she'll take off and she'll be dead at the second mile.
You have to rein her in.
she's a sprinter and I'm a turtle. So I say, hey, you know what? Let's slow down and we can finish this thing together. And so we did the 10K, we did the 5K together.
Yep.
We did that with my sister and my brother-in-law. Got them going on the couch to 5K also.
That's great.
So we did that. We did that together as a family, and then we did the 10K. Jennifer and I did the 10K together.
Yep.
And then the half, Dougie and I started together, and he was gone in like 2 seconds. He was flying.
Right.
But any race that my wife and I do, chances are we're close enough that we're going to be next to each other.
That's great.
We don't hold hands. We don't hold hands or anything like that. It ain't crazy.
Come on, sometimes.
No, we're not. We don't kiss until after the race.
Oh, that's there you go. That's a good motivator, right? A little inspiration, get you through the finish line. And of course, you're all sweaty. You're all sweaty by then, but it doesn't matter at that point. Everyone's sweaty, so it doesn't matter. I remember giving Ray Magana, who I met. He's been like a big supporter of the podcast. I met him running the New York City Marathon. And but we went through the finish line about the same time, and big hugs. That's just what you got to do, right? You got to do it. Sweaty or not, everyone smells the same at that point. So, let me. I'm trying to think of what to ask you next here, but. All right, so you're focused on this marathon. So where's your focus now, though? It's got to be like the weight loss, and then the marathon is sort of like a secondary thing for the moment, or is it all one big piece?
The weight loss is the primary right now until May 26th. That's my primary goal. The half marathon is just to kind of keep me in half marathon shape until we can really start buckling down and start doing the marathon training. So the marathon training is probably going to start in July, which isn't exactly the coldest part of Texas.
That's true. I didn't even think of that. We don't get that up here. We get a few hot days here and there, but it ain't Texas hot up here. So how do you plan to attack that? Morning runs, I guess, right? You probably miss the sun that way.
Yeah, in the heat, we run a lot first thing in the morning, or we'll run late in the evening, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, go out and do a couple miles here or there. This summer is going to be a little bit different because we're doing a lot farther than we did last summer.
You have you have a training plan in mind? Do you have are you doing like Higdon, like Hal Higdon? Or are you going to do you have anything like solid written down that you're doing, or are you just kind of winging it?
No, I looked at the Hal Higdon for the marathon. Yep. For the half marathon, I used a Map My Run app, and it changed I think I had a month left for the half.
Right.
And all of a sudden, all my numbers just changed, and it had me running for my longest run. It went all the way down to 7.8 miles or something. And I was like, uh-oh, something happened. So, adapt and overcome. And then I went to the Hal Higdon and looked at that one and seen about where I was. And, okay, well, this is what I have to do, and adapt and overcome and put your head down and get it done.
Yeah, and that's great. So, yeah, and I'm sure Doug can probably help you out a lot too. He's probably a good resource for you there, and having now that he's a veteran, he's a marathon veteran, and I'm just rooting for you, man. I love seeing your positivity online and all that good stuff, and I don't know, man. I'm really rooting for you.
Well, I'll tell you what really, really helps is these podcasts. So I grab your podcast and I'm searching every day, trying to refresh my screen, making sure that it hasn't come out yet. I'm not missing out on something. But I get that podcast, and sometimes I'll have it downloaded, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to listen to it yet. I want to wait till my long run. So I wait till my long run, and then I'm all like, all right. So I got you, I got Martinez Evans, I got I got 5 or 6, different ones to go, and it helps me out. Music is good, but man, I could just get lost in these podcasts.
The conversation, you almost feel like you're part of it sometimes, which at least that's what we kind of go for. And I hope that we're like, I try to be genuine with it too. I mean, that's kind of like, and I'm really like, you can't imagine how much like, it really makes me feel good when people tell me like good things about the podcast, because I mean, it really is a labor of love here. I mean, we're not, this is like something we do for fun. And it's so good to hear that people are putting it to good use. And like I said, I try to be genuine. And even when I'm going through a rut, like, like I said, we've had so many good, exciting things going on lately with the podcast and everything surrounding it. And I feel like I've kind of turned a corner when it comes to my own personal training. So it's nice to have someone like you to come in and interview when I'm kind of on a good note as well. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, my training sucks. I'm getting fat. I'm not eating well. Oh, so how you doing, Dan? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well,
it's not a good intro.
It's a lot of ups and downs. Training is all about the ups and downs. And you got to make your ups really, really good, and you got to make your downs really, really short.
Yeah, that's
so
a good point.
You got to be able to bounce back as soon as you can. It's a mind game. Weight loss is a lot like running. It's mostly mental.
Yeah.
We convince ourselves that we can't, but when we really try, we can get stuff done. If you put your head down, you can get to work, you can accomplish anything that you want to do.
Yeah, and it's so true. And it's so true because, there were days that I remember, I mean, I didn't wake up as early as you do, but there were days when my gym opens at 5 and I go for a swim, and it's like, I got to set the alarm for 4:45, which I know you're like, oh, that would be great sleep right there. That would be awesome sleep for a guy like you. But for me, it was really, it was really difficult. And some days I hit the snooze and I don't get up. It is a mind game. And some days it's easy to do it and the alarm rings and you get up and you do it. And some days it's harder than others. And some of those days when it's hard, you can still get up and do it. And some of those days when it's hard, you don't do it. And when you don't do it, you feel guilty, but you have to kind of find that way to turn things around and sort of set yourself up for more success, I think. And it looks like you guys have really done that well, you and your family down there. And I applaud you for it. And I hope it keeps going forward. I hope you hit all these goals. The weight loss goal. I hope you do really well. Are you looking to like improve on your next half marathon, or are you looking to kind of drag your brother through it and make sure he gets through?
I still think that I just want to finish. I don't know what that thin air is going to do.
Right.
We just signed up last night, so I haven't seen what the effects are. I know it's going to be a little bit harder. So, and they have a time cutoff of 3.5 hours. So,
right.
If I can make the time cutoff, that'll be a half hour, bonus PR for me.
Yeah. You could do that, man. You're going to be all over that. You drop the weight, you'd be surprised. I always said, like, especially in the first couple years of my training, the one factor that was consistently a direct relationship was my weight versus my finishing time, or my average pace at least. And if you drop 30, 40 pounds, you're going to be, you'll be surprised. You think about it, carry a 25-pound weight and try to do a run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. I have a hard enough time carrying 2 bottles of water.
But you carry that around and you see how far you get. You're not going to get very far. And when you drop that weight, and not only that, but as you're dropping that weight and you're running, you're working those muscles, you're getting stronger, you're working that cardio, and your breathing's getting stronger. You can improve very quickly in a short period of time. And I think you're going to see that. And I think you got 3.5 hours in you, definitely.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be an A goal, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, listen, man, thanks for coming on, Dan. I appreciate it so much. I love your story. I hope you continue to grace us with your presence on the Facebook page there, and let us know what you're up to. I'm gonna follow up with you with these goals, though. We're gonna keep on you. Make sure you drop that weight, get to your 50-pound goal. But you know what? If you get 30, that's still pretty good.
No, we're going for 50. The whole enchilada. As we say in Texas, we want the whole enchilada.
You don't want no enchiladas for you.
No enchiladas, not yet.
Not until May 27th.
Couple years. The end game is 190.
You know what? I think I've been saying sort of the same thing for me. I got to tell you, I plateau. And how tall are you?
5'11".
All right, so you're a little taller than me, but I hit that like, I think I hit about 210, and I plateaued there for the first time, and then last year I hit 200, and I really wanted to get through to that 200. I never once I weighed 2 days in a row. I weighed 200.0. Like I go to decimal place on my scale, 200.0. I was right on the line. I just needed to lose a tiny bit more to get under 200, and I didn't do it, and I just went the other way. I peaked about a week ago at 232, and but I'm down about 5 pounds since then, and I feel like I've turned a corner. I kind of have to. I got Ironman Lake Placid in July, and right now I'm way behind schedule, so we're gonna get on that. You know what?
That's pretty exciting. So you're saying you want to race to 190? Is that what you're saying?
I would love to race at 190. For me, that's
no. You're gonna race me.
Oh, you want to do that? Oh,
we're gonna have a little challenge.
Challenge.
First one to 190 goes visits the other person.
Oh, jeez. That's a lot of travel. You know what, though? Man.
I'm years down the road, brother.
What, to 190?
It's going to be a while. To 190.
Hold on a second, man. I don't know about that. I don't know.
I don't want to jump down. You know, it's not going to go. I know it's not going to go that smooth. You know, I'm going to get stuck at the 220s and I'm going to get stuck. I know I'm going to get stuck. You're stuck. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Maybe this is your way of saying you're going to come run up here.
But when I get down to like 220, if you haven't hit that 190 mark yet,
it's on.
It's going to be on. It's going to be on. I tell you.
I like that. I just got into a weight bet with my friend Paul, who he's starting to sort of start running and do a few things. He's kind of been on and off with the running lately, and he weighed in at 247, and he lives in New York, and he's going to go watch Lake Placid Ironman, and we're going to see him out there. And so we have a bet on who's going to lose the biggest percentage weight by Lake Placid Ironman Day. Of course, it gives me a little bit of a disadvantage, I think, because I got to be hydrated and I got to be all. It's not that I'm not on a full weight loss diet. I'm on a performance diet, right? So it's not like I can go without carbs or anything like that. Although some people say that you can do the keto thing and all that, and I believe that stuff. It's not for me right now. But he's gonna have all the weight loss tricks. He can dehydrate himself and and drop like 5 pounds in the last day if he really wants to. I won't be able to do that, but I'm gonna give it a good run. And we actually have the same thing on the line too. He lives out in Syracuse. The loser travels.
Okay, and I think the loser should have to change a bike tire. That's what I think.
I wouldn't know how. So, but
that's what I was getting at.
Hey, let me ask you this. So I know you're a fan of the podcast. Did you listen to the one with John Martin at all? He's a motivational speaker that we had.
Yes,
on.
I did. I did. Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
What a great dude. And I got like my conversation with him. It really set my frame of mind. And I think. And one of the things that I would be wary of, and I think this is like almost sort of my warning from my own personal experience, is that, you hit that goal, like you lose that 50 pounds on May 26th, and then you're like, oh, I hit my goal, like I can relax a little bit. And, what he was saying was, why are you doing that? Why are you making that your goal and that, getting all excited and happy and then that's it? Like the goal is, is life. The goal is, win the day. And I think I took a lot from that conversation because it's not, my goal isn't just to finish the Ironman now. Now it's like, it's to kind of, to work on this lifestyle and do the things that I want to do and stay healthy and stay fit. And, I think you get, once you accomplish something, you kind of get, it's almost like, they call it, I forget what they call it, like, Ironman, what do they call it? The Ironman Blues, they call it, and it's similar with the marathon. I found too. I'm just giving you a warning. when you put your goals at all your focus into those goals, and then you hit them, it's like, oh, I hit them. Like, oh, I can do it, and then you move on, and it doesn't become a focus anymore. So, for me, like my new goal is to sort of look at it take a step back and look at it from a broad distance. And I think you're in the right frame of mind to do what you need to do to lose that weight, to run that marathon. I got no doubt that you're going to do it. It's going to be fun watching you do it. But I took a lot from that podcast, and I've learned it the hard way, having got to from 280 down to 200, and then back up to 230. That was just me, and I'm just giving you a fair warning on what's to come in terms of mental. That's what happened to me. I hope it doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't happen to me either. You have to overcome yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to amaze yourself.
I like that, man. I like that. Amaze yourself. That could be like a nice hashtag.
Yes, sir. I've been using it for a little while.
You gotta copyright that for yourself.
I'm gonna sell that.
There you go. T-shirts. We can put that on T-shirts. Listen, Dan, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. And thank your wife again for sponsoring the Ordinary Marathon. We appreciate that. Destination Vacation, awesome places. Actually, the website. Is there an underscore in there? There's something in there, right? Or a dash.
There's a hyphen, yes, sir.
Destination-vacation.com. Check it out if you get a chance. And thanks for coming on, Dan.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Scott. Keep up the good work.
All right, man. You too. I can't wait to follow you the next few months. And I wrote that down. May 26th. That's the day. We'll be in touch.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's all we got for today, for a podcast today. This was, I think, podcast 74, 73? I don't know, 74, I think. Man, that's a lot. I can't believe we've been doing this thing for so long. But we have Ramon Burmo. We've had him on the show a couple times before. He is the Northeast head of Determination, which is the American Cancer Society running team. He'll be on, we're actually going to record that podcast on Wednesday night. That'll be out this weekend, though. They're headed to Barcelona for the Barcelona Marathon this weekend. A big trip for them. And then they got the New York City Half is the following week. I'm actually going to be down there in New York City. So if you're on the New York City Half, let me know. We're going to set up a little cheering station. I'll probably be wearing my Ordinary Marathoner gear. It would be good to meet, any of you guys that listen to the podcast. I love meeting you guys. So I'll let you know, let me know if you're running it. I'll let you know where we're going to be from there. I have like a backlog of guests, and I love it. I love now my sound is working. I can have people like Dan, all these guys on. Denny Cray is going to be on. He's coming out with a new book. Benjamin Hinton's going to be on. He's doing his own virtual race, raising money for traumatic brain injury, people with traumatic brain injury, doing a lot of great things there. Bill Costello, he's the race director for the Cheshire Half Marathon in Cheshire, Connecticut. That we're going to send a contingent over there. If you're interested, if you live in the area and you want to run the Cheshire Half Marathon, when you sign up, use the code ORDINARY. If you use the coupon code ORDINARY, you'll get 15% off. I don't get a kickback from that. I told him to make sure every ounce that he could save you guys goes directly to you. I'd love to just for anyone out there who wants to run the race and meet us, use that coupon code, get the 15% off, come out there and meet us. We're going to have a great time. I don't think Stephanie's running it this year. I think she's taking a break from the halves for a little bit, but I'll be running it, and we got a few people that I know that are going to be running it. Looking forward to that too. So busy times for us. I'm so happy that we kind of got through the winter lull, and look for great things to come from the podcast, from all you guys listening. And always remember, when it comes to running, I'm no expert. I'm just ordinary.